ReefBum is sponsored by Bulk Reef Supply and Ecotech Marine.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. So in this video I wanted to provide an update on the Peninsula tank. But before I do that, if you want to help support the channel and pick up some SPS frags, you can do so on reefbum.com. And I am also having a live sale on YouTube on Sunday, October 23rd, so you can pick up some frags on sale. With that, let's get into the video. So time has really flown here. I can't believe I've had this Peninsula tank up and running for a couple of years. And it was about a year and a half ago that I planted most of the SPS frags in this frag tank. And man, let me tell you, over the past year or so, these frags have really taken off. I've had some super rapid growth with all these frags. Well, most of these frags. Some of them are, you know, it's just kind of goes with the territory in terms of SPS frags. Sometimes you have some that are not active, more dormant than others. But, you know, I am really just very happy with the progress of this reef tank. You know, I had some hurdles at the beginning. I had some dinos that I had to overcome right at the start. Even though I did use live rock to start the tank, I did get some dinoflagellates, but I put some UV on this tank and that just really knocked it right out. I also had an issue at the beginning in terms of planting these frags and probably most of them falling off. And I think that's because I used Brightwell's razor to knock out some stuff, some algae, some little, I don't even know what you would call it, but biofilm, that's what you would call it. Some biofilm in the tank that was kind of present on the live rock. That knocked it out, but I think it just made the surfaces very tough for the putty and the super glue for frags to adhere to. So yeah, I mean, even though I've had some tremendous growth, and I'll show some footage versus a year ago in terms of where these corals were at, but yeah, despite all the most of the frags getting knocked off and me having to replant them and restart it, they eventually took hold and are super happy. So, you know, the key I think with this tank is a couple of things. One is the lighting. I love the GHL Mitras. I love the LEDs. It's making me think about potentially switching to LEDs on my 187-gallon tank. I don't know, but the growth on this tank is just unbelievable. It's beyond my expectations. I also think that dosing Kalkwasser has really helped because my pH has been elevated in the lately in the 8.3 to 8.5 range. I've been able to maintain that by dosing Kalkwasser out of a 30-gallon drum using my GHL dosers, which are not ideal for dosing Kalkwasser because I dose a lot of it. I think I'm dosing around 3,000 mLs per day on this tank, and that's during the evening hours, the opposite of the light cycle. So I'm using I'm also using a dual chamber calcium reactor, but I don't think that calcium reactor is on that often. It's mostly the Kalkwasser that is helping to maintain the higher pH and also to help supplement and maintain the alkalinity and the calcium for this reef tank. So yeah, I mean, would I have done anything differently for this tank versus when I first planned it out and started out? I don't think so. I talked about how much I'm really loving the bare bottom. It just makes it so easy to, you know, spot the detritus and siphon it up. So I'm also able to really crank up the flow. And with this Peninsula tank, with that long run, it's a 6-foot long tank. It's critical. I don't think I could have had a sand bed on the bottom of this tank. It just would have gotten blown all over the place. So I wouldn't have changed that. I'm digging the LEDs. You know, the flow in here was a challenge at the beginning in terms of I started out with 4 NP40s. I ended up adding 2 NP60s. So I've got a couple of the NP40s on the viewing end panel of this tank, which I wasn't psyched about, but visually I've gotten used to it. So it's really not too bad, but it's the flow that I need in this tank. And I think certainly also that the circulation, the flow, helping deliver the nutrients to these corals has been a big plus. Since the summertime, I've been using the Captivate Aquaculture salt. I think that's been making a positive difference. I've also recently started using the Captivate trace elements, the traces. I've also started to use, just recently, the Captivate, some of the coral food. I have, and what else I've been using from Captivate? I've been also using the Captivate Remediate, which is a bacteria, so I've been dosing that bacteria on a daily basis, and right now I'm not running anything in terms of macroalgae on this tank, so I believe the Remediate is primarily my source of nutrient reduction on this tank. But I'm seeing positive results. I'm seeing some improved coloration in the tank. You know, I can't prove that it's all due to the Captivate stuff, but I'm all in on Captivate, so it's been a positive experience for me so far. I'm also doing it on my other system, the 187-gallon tank as well. So yeah, it's just been a lot of good, positive stuff. I had some issues recently with this tank when I had a couple of corals that I lost. They lost a lot of color, and I think what happened was I went away on vacation, and I decided to kind of like double down on dosing on the traces and the Remediate, and I don't think that was a terribly good idea. I think you know, especially with the Remediate, when you know, that's powerful stuff. It comes in a powder form, so it's very potent. And by doubling up on that, I doubled up on it right before I left, and when I came back, I doubled up on it too in terms of the daily dosages. So I dosed a lot more than I normally had dosed, and so I think what happened was the nutrients got reduced a lot more quickly in a shorter period of time. So I think lesson learned: when I go away on vacation, I'm just not going to worry about that stuff and just kind of like let it ride. But yeah, other than that, not too many complaints, all good. Again, just getting tremendous growth on this tank. Everything is looking good. So that's an update on the Peninsula tank. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. I will see you next time. Be safe, be well. Later.
We'll be right back.